This is Thuingaleng Muiva, India's oldest rebel leader and one of the most prominent faces of the Naga insurgency in northeast India. This is his homecoming after 50 years, much of it spent in exile fighting India. For his people, Muiva brings hope that the solution to India's oldest insurgency is close.
His return is a moment to reflect on the struggles, the moment, the peace, the kind of hope that we have through this struggle.
We pray that his homecoming is gonna be a great step towards the solution of the Nagas.
We met him at his village Somdal in the northeastern state of Manipur. At 91, his health is a concern for his followers, and so we were not allowed to ask him any questions. The Naga movement is as old as India itself. One of Asia's longest-running insurgencies, it seeks to carve out a separate sovereign homeland for the Nagas. But over time, the demand has been watered down. Now the proposal is to integrate Naga-dominated areas of 3 states, Manipur, Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, creating a greater Nagaland within India. Mr. Muiva leads the NSCN, the main and largest rebel group in the movement.
We have been fighting for our identity. We want to be who we are. We don't want to be Indian, Chinese, American or others. We want to be who we are.
T.H. Muiva is a hero figure in these parts. In fact, we were speaking to people here who were saying that, if you have to become a politician and contest an election, if you want to open a new business, then you need to have his blessings. In fact, it became really difficult to bring up any criticism against him in this village. But over the years, there have been multiple accusations against the NSCN. This also includes accusations of atrocities against other Naga groups.
There are concerns and deep anxieties among other Naga groups, whether it's in Nagaland or smaller Naga groups in Manipur, that the NSCN has targeted leaders of these groups, even ordinary people, because apart from targeting political opponents, they also taxed. They call it taxing. Ordinary people call it extortion. A lot of business and a lot of officials, almost everybody had to pay some sort of a tax to the movement.
In a statement to the BBC, the group responded to the allegations of atrocities on other Naga groups by saying that they were the victims and not the aggressors. They further claimed that these factional wars were orchestrated by the states of India and Myanmar. In the past, Mr. Muiva has defended the right of the Naga people to take up arms for their cause. This is what he said to the BBC in an interview in 2011.
Nagas must find a way out. They have to seek arms. They have to defend themselves. So they have to go to China, to Pakistan, to anywhere.
We asked the NSCN about this stance. While they say they seek a peaceful solution, they also warn of an armed conflict if their hand is forced.
We are for political solution, not military solution. But if circumstances compel, I don't know. That is different thing. But in principle, we are democratic people, and then we say one solution through democratic means. Collection of taxes is universal law. If I'm to run a government, collection of taxes is a must.
To understand how the Indian government approached the Naga movement, we spoke to G.K. Pillai. Mr. Pillai has served as Joint Secretary in the Northeast and Home Secretary in the Government of India for a long period during the peace talks. He often acted as a key voice explaining the government's stance during that period.
I think from Government of India, the important element is to really understand what the Nagas want. Unique history is something which they keep talking about. We have a unique history. We recognize that. And the fundamental issue on which we negotiated with the NSCN IM was that we are sharing sovereignties, the shared sovereignty concept.
Peace talks between the Indian government and Naga leaders have spanned generations, punctuated by ceasefires and periods of heavy violence. The Indian state has faced criticism for what many describe as a heavy-handed response to the insurgency between the 1950s and the early 1990s. India's security forces were accused of serious human rights violations. Mr. Pillai accepts that these allegations were true, at least in the early days.
In the 1950s, I think it should have been handled much better. Because that was a period when which, shall I say, all the history, the memories were built up of the older generation. Definitely, atrocities were committed by both sides. There's no doubt about it. There's enough, shall I say, experience and records which have come. That is something which I think from the Government of India point of view, it is important for the Government of India to acknowledge that some of these atrocities did take place.
Generations in Somdal have grown up witnessing and hearing stories of this violent conflict that went well beyond the 1950s.
I also had a lot of experience. When I grew up in the Ukhrul town, my father was tortured because of this movement by the Indian security forces.
I remember an incident where I was young. The army operation came. I think it was about 2-3 a.m. in the morning. So I think that feeling of fear that creeps into your heart, when people are banging down on your door, I think it's still in me.
We put the allegations to the Indian government but haven't received a response. No Indian government has addressed these accusations. The NSCN-IM now maintains a largely cordial relationship with the present Indian government, which has been credited with advancing peace talks with the group. In 2015, an agreement was reached between the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and T.H. Muiva. The government agreed to a framework under which settlement with the Nagas would be chalked out. As opposed to complete autonomy for the Nagas, it proposed a new political relationship with India. This involved some degree of self-governance in matters such as law and order, taxation, education, and more. But talks have not moved forward since. It's Sunday in Somdal and a special church service has been organized for Muiva by the local community. He continues to inspire the next generation even though they have not seen the movement as closely.
Why do I relate so much to the movement? I'm Naga, of course. Naga by blood. Yeah. So even though I don't meet him personally and I don't know him personally also, we've heard him a lot and then his story, and then since I'm from his birthplace as well, so I should know about him because he's our leader.
There is no official data on the number of people who have died in this decades-long war. Community leaders claim the casualties go into hundreds of thousands. According to the South Asian Terrorism Portal, at least 2,531 people have died in Nagaland between 1992 and 2019 due to the conflict. Somdal remembers those it lost. 27 people from the village are said to have died in the conflict. More are looking to join the cause.
He has been leading us in the fight for rights to self-determination and freedom of the Nagas. And that is something that I also aspire. And that is something that I really want to fight for.
I feel that I am not an Indian at heart. I am a Naga at heart. That does not mean I hate India, but that just means I love Naga. So, yeah.